For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live, because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning. Welcome to OBX Today Live for the first day of February 2022. I'm Sam Walker. Glad to have you along with us back on this Tuesday morning. With a rundown on all the news in the last couple of days we got for you at obxtoday.com. And I'm kind of excited about what we're going to tease for tomorrow, because we're going to be talking space, specifically Mars. So we're going to have that on the show tomorrow. Actually, we're doing an interview later today with the chief engineer of the Ingenuity helicopter. You know, the helicopter that flew on Mars, the first ever helicopter to fly on Mars? Yeah. We're going to have a chance to talk later this morning, not on today's show, but for tomorrow's show. Bob Ballerin from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. We're going to be doing a phone interview with him coming up after we get off the air here. That's going to run tomorrow. We're going to have that for you at obxtoday.com. So I'm kind of teasing what's coming up tomorrow. Really excited about that one. We got that booked yesterday afternoon. And we're looking forward to having that for you on tomorrow's show. But today we got plenty of news to talk about. Say good morning to everybody who's checking with us on Facebook. Dave out in New Kent, Virginia, where it's cold. It's still kind of chilly. Not going to be as chilly, though, it looks like, for the rest of the week around here. And then we go back into the ice box for the weekend. We'll talk all about that in the OBX Today Weather Center in just a few minutes. Let's get to some of the headlines for you on this Tuesday morning. We'll start with the Mid-Currituck Bridge. As expected, this was anticipated that an appeal would be filed. The group representing a conservation organization and local opponents to the Mid-Currituck Bridge have appealed a federal judge's ruling on their suit seeking to block construction of the span over Currituck Sound between Corolla and Idlet. Southern Environmental Law Center, on behalf of the North Carolina Wildlife Federation and No Mid-Currituck Bridge, concerned citizens and visitors opposed to the Mid-Currituck Bridge, is asking the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, which is in Richmond, to declare invalid what they call, quote, illegal and outdated analysis prepared for the Mid-Currituck Bridge. Kim Hunter, senior attorney with the Southern Environmental Law Center, said in a statement yesterday that the Mid-Currituck Bridge would be an extraordinarily bad investment for North Carolina. And when you factor in limited use, availability of cheaper and less damaging alternatives, and much of the bridge project area will soon begin to flood and become less reliable due to sea level rise, it's hard to think of a worse way for North Carolina to spend scarce transportation funds. Filed in April 2019, a lawsuit challenged the NCDOT and Federal Highway Administration environmental analysis and decision document. NCDOT division engineers sent a letter in mid-December to state and local leaders that the court The Eastern District of Federal Court had decided in favor of the defendants. Court ruled that NCDOT and FHWA complied with applicable federal laws and regulations. Currituck Board of Commissioners Chairman Mike Payment said last month that Currituck County supported the building of the Mid-Currituck Bridge for many years and that nothing had changed from their viewpoint. The Daily Advance reported last week State Representative Bobby Handig told Currituck commissioners at retreat on January 27th that construction will start next year. Handig said the state's Turnpike Authority is once again moving forward with work, including property acquisition and other actions needed before construction can start. Now, the toll bridge would cross 7 miles of open water swampland between Islet and Corolla. The image you see up on their screen right now is the representation that NCD, or the Turnpike Authority rather, has put together of what it would look like as it leaves the Currituck mainland and heads just north of Islet. I'm going to switch over to the display now because I want to show you. This is the map, a rough map of where this bridge would be located. It would run from this right here is Islet Road. Here's the Coinjock Canal, the Knapp Memorial Bridge over the Intercoastal Waterway. Water Lily Road right here. Not sure what that's a dirt road that's there. I don't know why they put that there. But what they're talking about doing is improvements that would go from Barco to here, where the bridge would start. There'd be a interchange and a toll plaza. Now, the toll plaza would not be a toll plaza like a traditional sense. It would be a gantry style system, similar to what you're seeing if you've been up on Interstate 64 in Norfolk on the express lanes. There's no toll plaza. It's just a gantry is what you call it. It's steel structure that's got the sensors in it that would you could use the North Carolina toll pass system, Easy Pass, or they do pay by plate. And the bridge would go along, or rather this complex, this toll road complex, would go along through Maple Swamp on a smaller bridge in this area, and then gets to Islet, comes out of the swamp there, then becomes the longer bridge. It would be the longest bridge in the state at just over 5 miles. It would land near the Corolla Bay neighborhood. The NCDOT already owns the property on the Corolla side for this bridge, but they have not done purchases of the necessary land they need, especially at 158, where the bridge would start. The way this would connect with NC12 over here in Corolla would be with a traffic circle, but with over here in Currituck, it would be a full style interstate style interchange with overpasses. With this lawsuit appeal being filed, that 2023 timeline of work starting probably is not going to last, or at least not going to hold, as with how long it will take for the Court of Appeals to hear that suit, probably looking at 2023 before it's even heard. The groups filed their lawsuit under the National Environmental Policy Act, arguing state and federal transportation agencies have failed to consider less damaging and less expensive alternatives. Those include widening Highway 12 through Southern Shores and Duck to 3 lanes, traffic circles instead of stoplights, and building a flyover interchange with 158 in Kitty Hawk. They've also claimed that it would cost more than $500 million and that tolls would have to top $50 in peak season to pay for it. So, again, this is just the latest development in this long running. I mean, we're talking about something that was talked about first in 1975. So we're now in 5 decades of discussions about building a bridge between Corolla and the mainland. And it's going to work through the courts, and we'll see what happens. Similar suits were filed about the Bonner Bridge and other alternatives along Hatteras Island for Highway 12. And eventually the Southern Environmental Law Center worked out an agreement with the state to build the Bass Knight Bridge to replace the Bonner Bridge, and then other bridges such as the Jug Handle Bridge. Eventually you'll probably see a 10-mile or 20-mile long complex of bridges to bypass Pea Island eventually, but these were the negotiations. They seem to be less willing to negotiate with the Mid-Currituck Bridge. We'll see. All right, moving on here on OBX Today Live. Stories we've had for you over the weekend and yesterday as well at obxtoday.com. The Currituck Animal Shelter is currently caring for animals from two separate animal neglect cases in Currituck. One took place last Wednesday when 4 dogs and 7 cats were seized from a home in Knott's Island on Wednesday. Then on Friday, a breeder in the near Wedgwood Lakes, in the Wedgwood Lakes section, it's not in the neighborhood Wedgwood Lakes, it's just behind it, in Moyock, where 47 adult labs and 14 puppies were taken into custody. One adult female lab was found dead at that breeder. And adoption applications are now being accepted, but it's going to be quite some time before those cats become available because they are part of an active investigation. If you go to adoptcurrituckanimals.com, you can apply for being a foster or adopting these animals. But it's going to be, again, quite some time. There are a number of those animals that have been taken, those dogs have been taken for treatment. Roanoke Island Animal Hospital is helping with treating some of the dogs that are in the worst shape. The update we got yesterday from the Currituck Animal Shelter was that they have more than enough pet food now. They have just been overwhelmed. In fact, they don't even have enough space to store it all. They do have, again, let's go back to the dogs that are in the care of or that require medical care. These labs have been taken to Roanoke Island, or rather, they are being monitored closely and receiving around-the-clock care, being fed 5 times a day, and being monitored closely by staff at Roanoke Island Animal Clinic. The shelter also posting they're grateful for the support they've received to help care for the dogs. They've received so much dog food, they don't have space to store it anymore. They're in need of laundry detergent, Odoban, bleach, kitchen trash bags, 55-gallon contractor trash bags, Nylabone toys, anything you might want to send that we may be overlooking. They do have an Amazon wish list that's been set up for caring for these animals, and we've had a lot of inquiries about adoption of these pups and the cats too. But again, because this is an active investigation, the animal shelter says they're not able to release his dogs to new owners at this time. One of the things that was brought up with those who have or had contracts with this breeder, the named Bentwood Labradors on Robert Walker Road, that they'll have to contact that company to receive updates on what to do there. Tim Warren has been charged with 61 counts of failure to provide medical care, adequate food and water, and sanitary living conditions, 8 counts of violating the Currituck's restraint ordinance, and 8 counts of nuisance. Warren was also charged with 1 count of failing to provide vet care that resulted in a death. So again, Currituck Animal Services, Currituck Animal Shelter is taking care of these animals, but they do have several ways that you can assist if you'd like to make donations. We've got links for you at obxtoday.com. We've got some stories up right now in the Neighbor Help Zone and elsewhere that if you're looking for the latest information on what's going on with those dogs and cats and how you can help, we've got that for you. All right, we'll take a break and come back here. It's OBX Today Live on Facebook and YouTube. Glad to have you on this Tuesday morning, presented by Gallup Funeral Services.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Our pet of the week for this week is Beowulf. Beowulf was surrendered to us due to no fault of his own. This big boy has a lot of energy and loves to be goofy once he gets to know you. He loves to play fetch and knows how to sit. He previously lived in a home with 2 other dogs and was around children. So if you're looking for an addition to your family, come by and meet this guy. To adopt Beowulf or foster one of our other animals, you can come visit us Monday through Saturday at our shelter located in Manio. We will be having a rabies clinic February 14th to the 18th with $15 rabies vaccinations. For more information, visit our website at www.obxspca.org or visit our OBX SPCA Facebook page.
I'm back again on OBX Today Live, presented by Gallup Funeral Services on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you mash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell to let you know whenever we go live on both our Facebook page, the OBX Today Facebook page, the Sam Walker OBX Facebook page, and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. Last week, a new report coming out from the North Carolina Drought Monitor showing we're done. We have busted the drought. All that snow and rain we got last month has helped to knock us out of the drought conditions that we saw back in mid-November. Northeastern North Carolina went into severe drought after one of the driest autumns in 80 years. Remained at least a moderate drought until early fall when systems with moderate and heavy rainfall, along with ice and snow, began moving across the state. According to the North Carolina Climate Office, the 4 inches of snow that we saw with the storm weekend before last, 4 to 6 inches, at the Plymouth Climate Station, that's the closest to our area, put us on the 5th wettest January on record, with almost 6 inches of precipitation. That continued with the storm that went through on Friday night and Saturday, so we're probably even above 6 inches now at that climate station. That's the closest one to here on the Outer Banks. But the drought has been busted. That's still drought conditions being experienced in southeastern, central, and western North Carolina. Still some severe drought out towards up in the foothills in the Charlotte area. But we're out of it, which is good news because, of course, when we get into drought, that means our wildfire threat in the wildlife refuges goes up dramatically. Thankfully, we did not see any of that during that initial fall or during that period when we had all the dry weather in the fall. So, of course, it means everybody's yards are mushy. And looking ahead to our OBX Today Weather Center forecast, we got another storm system coming. So it looks like we're going to be in this pattern of getting rain about once a week right now, which is a good thing for that. Not a great thing if you want it to be dry and be able to do stuff outdoors. Latest on COVID-19 in North Carolina, massive drop in new cases. First time on Monday that we were under 10,000 cases one day for the first time since December. 162 deaths were reported yesterday. 7,327 new cases reported Monday, marked the fewest since December 28th, before the Omicron surge took off, and there were 3,698 cases. State did add nearly 47,000 new cases since Friday. Half of them came in on Saturday's report. But state and local health officials now note that the COVID-19 case numbers that are coming in now are probably skewed because of so many people taking home tests that are not reported in those statistics. So keep that in mind as we see these numbers start to drop. There may still be people testing positive for COVID-19 that weren't reported because those reports are not, the at-home tests. And with folks getting their at-home tests now in the mail from the federal government, we got ours on Saturday, in fact. Our order arrived of the 4 free home tests. We'll see more and more of that where the numbers may drop. And that's one reason why Albemarle Regional Health Services announced on Friday they'll no longer publish weekly updates on new cases and vaccine totals for their 8-county service area. That includes Currituck, Camden, Pasquotank, Perquimans, Chowan, Gates, Bertie, and Hertford counties. Because the data is no longer exact due to the abundance of home tests that are not reported and the expansion of the state vaccine reports to include federal sites and other vaccine providers across the state, that was one reason why Albemarle Regional Health Services Health Director R. Battle Betts Jr. said on Friday that they are going to stop those weekly reports of that nature, but they'll continue to report facility outbreaks and coronavirus-related deaths in a Friday news release and other pertinent updates. We'll get Dare County's weekly update today, and we'll see if they also may possibly change how that data comes out. Currituck County has announced a pilot project to evaluate, understand, and improve the effectiveness of combining departmental permit efforts between public works and emergency management. So starting yesterday, the Public Works Solid Waste Permit will also function as Currituck Outer Banks residents and property owners re-entry permit. And let's see if we can show you what that looks like real quick. As there's a re-entry chart. So this was a graphic that the Currituck County put out yesterday that kind of explains what they're talking about when it comes to, let's see if we can get this right. No, let's do it this way. We'll make it, you don't want to watch the ocean. You don't want to see all this stuff. Let's see here. We'll get this to pop up. There we go. Take me down. So that little red sticker you see up in the top left there. Oh, we'll blow this out. So the top right, the red sticker, property owners in Currituck now got those stickers back in beginning of 2021. They are good for until the end of this year. And those red stickers are needed if you go to the convenience sites, the inconvenience sites to drop your trash off, or to landfill in Maple. That's going to now double as the reentry permit for getting to the Currituck Outer Banks for residents and property owners. Those have been sent out in the past to property owners. They are available through the county. Rather than doing the big hang tags that were separate reentry permits, now they're just going to use these because they're sending them to property owners anyway. So those will be allowed for, if there's an evacuation of the Currituck Outer Banks, that sticker would be required to get back in as one of the ways to get back in. Of course, they do allow with driver's licenses or a property tax receipt, things like that. When you go through the checkpoints at the Wright Memorial Bridge and then at the Currituck County line, when we do have evacuations. Of course, priority 1 will still be essential personnel, and priority 2 are residents, property owners, and critical businesses. The critical business passes will still be required. They'll still require those, and that information will be coming out soon for 2022. But if you already have the permits, they're not, you don't have to do anything. If you have those little stickers, if you need them, they are available by going to the Currituck County website. You can also call the Public Works office at 252-232-2504. Got the details about it on the on obxtoday.com right now. If you rent a property that if you're a full-time rental resident, meaning you rent a house and live in Corolla, you can get the permits directly with documentation such as mail, utility bills, and lease agreements. Now, the reentry program, there no longer be a permanent distinction between property owners and residents, nor between north and south of the 4x4 ramp. That's one of the other changes that they have made to the permitting process to getting into Currituck's reentry if it is needed after an evacuation. Currituck County also announcing new county manager, but this familiar face, Ike McCree, who's been a longtime county attorney for Currituck and has been serving as interim county manager since August, will be named at this coming Monday's meeting as take the interim tag off his title as county manager. Currituck County Board of Commissioners also saying they're going to hire a separate county attorney rather than go the route that Dare County does with Bobby Outen, who is both the county manager and county attorney. They're going to keep it as two separate positions in Currituck. All right, we'll take a break, come back here on OBX Today Live. Got some state news to get to, and, of course, sports and weather here on OBX Today Live, presented by Gallup Funeral Services.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Whether you have a residential elevator in a home you own or there is one in a vacation home that you rent, you may encounter a hidden danger. In-home elevators with hazardous gaps can seriously injure or kill small children. The danger is the gap between the exterior hoistway door and the elevator car door, where small children can get trapped and crushed if they are in the space between the doors when the elevator moves. It's important to protect children by taking steps to eliminate gaps that are too big. Several companies have recalled elevators with hazardous gaps and are providing fixes free of charge. Check cpsc.gov to see if your elevator has been recalled. If the elevator has not been recalled, you should have a qualified elevator inspector examine it for hazardous gaps. If hazardous gaps exist, have space guards or electronic monitoring installed to remedy the hazard. Keep unsupervised children away from all residential elevators. Always remember to lock the elevator in an unusable position or lock all exterior doors to the elevator when not in use. If you are in a rental and aren't sure if the elevator is safe, check with the owner. Keep the children away from the elevator and lock or block the doors to keep children safe. Stay healthy, stay safe. Find specialized tips for residential elevator safety at cpsc.gov.
And we're back on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sam Walker. I want to go now to, let's see, yeah, we get this queued up here. Our friends at channel Fox 8 out in Winston-Salem in the Triad, they are covering a massive fire at a fertilizer plant in Winston-Salem this morning. Just want to throw this update to you right now from the Fox affiliate out in Greensboro this morning.
We're following breaking news. A massive fire at a fertilizer plant in the Triad has first responders working to evacuate everyone within a 1-mile radius. You can see the fire right here at the Weaver Fertilizer Plant in Winston-Salem behind me. Here's a look at the map of the evacuation zone. As you can see, that 1-mile evacuation area is in the northern part of Winston-Salem, centered on that plant in Cherry Street. It's on Cherry Street. Crews have been working through the night to get homes and businesses evacuated. This is because there's anywhere from 300 to 600 tons of the chemical compound ammonium nitrate inside that plant that has the potential to explode.
The fire is still burning this morning. Winston-Salem city leaders held a media briefing that wrapped up just moments ago with new details on the fire. We turn to Fox 8's Lauren Crawford live there now with this new information. Good morning, Lauren.
Yeah, good morning. Right now, the fire is still active and there is still a potential for explosion. Now, we know that the fire is so massive that the building has collapsed, and because of the amount of ammonium nitrate inside the building, it's restricted from even crews trying to fight these flames. Now, I'm going to step out of the picture and show you a little bit where we are right now. We're on Indiana Avenue, about a mile from Cherry Street, the 4400 block where the fire is going on right now. And you can see police are on scene, hazmat crews are on scene, blocking off the road. Now, take a look here at the flames overnight into this morning. This has been an active scene for nearly 11 hours now. You can see the heavy smoke and fire from all across parts of Winston-Salem, including downtown and Wake Forest University just a little over a mile away. Now, the university has announced that all classes are canceled for today, even though on-campus housing is not included in the evacuation zone. Now, all night, smoke has been hovering over the dorms across from campus, and Wake Forest did open buildings for students, staff, and faculty who live in the evacuation area. Now, we learned from city officials that there are approximately 6,500 residents and 2,500 households within the evacuation radius area. We spoke to a daughter who went to pick up her mom, who lives extremely close to the fire. Brittany Snuggs found out about the fire through Facebook, and then she said she could quickly begin smelling the smoke and got in her car to check it out.
It was a mess. It was scary. It was scary. The first thing I was worried about if someone was in there. That was my main concern.
I spoke to Forsyth County EMS crews and fire crews this morning who say it is not safe for people to be in the facility of where the fire is right now. They do not have enough water supply to contain or cool the amount of ammonium nitrate in that building. Now, they are using drones to assess the scene about every 15 to 20 minutes. That is an update from the 30 minutes I got a few hours ago. So they are assessing it more and more as the fire continues to be active. And when asked if the fire was under control, officials say that they are currently in containment mode. That's so because it's still active. And ahead at 6, we'll have an update on evacuations, shelters, and what other buildings in the area are working on evacuating. Live in Winston-Salem, Lauren Crawford, Fox 8 News.
There you go. That was from their 5 a.m. newscast. We just wanted to throw that at you because pretty significant fire out there, the risk of explosion. That is north of Winston-Salem. They are using, as I said, one of the buildings at the fairgrounds, the shelter. There's residents. If you're familiar with Winston-Salem, Cherry Street does actually run through downtown Winston-Salem. But this location is out on the north side of town, not far, as they said, from Wake Forest University. 3 North Carolina Supreme Court justices have decided they will not step aside from hearing a blockbuster redistricting case this week. Associate Justices Anita Earls, Sam Irvin IV, and Phil Berger Jr. denied on Monday the recusal motions targeting them from lawyers covering both sides of the litigation. Their decisions likely mean all 7 justices will listen to remote oral arguments tomorrow in the challenges to the state's recently enacted congressional and legislative districts. The absence of justices from proceedings could have tilted the outcome as to whether lines approved for the next decade will be upheld or struck down. Last week, Governor Cooper vetoed a bill that would have extended the primaries for 2022 to June rather than May. The Supreme Court, state Supreme Court, has set a tentative date of mid-May for this year's primaries that were originally supposed to take place in March. They also said set for later this month, resuming candidate filing. They feel like they can get these hearings done, and they're going to expedite the ruling on these maps, give the legislature time to redraw them, and then restart the registration process, the filing process for candidates, which got underway in December and then was quickly halted as part of this litigation. All right, so what's the latest on that boat down in Ocracoke, the Vivens Aqua? Well, unfortunately, it's still there. It's been a week now, almost a week since this 55-foot motor yacht, known as a trawler, grounded on South Point in Ocracoke. As the owner, husband and wife from Baltimore, were trying to take it up to from Florida to Maryland. They decided to head out into the ocean out of Beaufort Inlet last Tuesday morning, or rather last Monday, and then got out there and decided, hey, let's just go on into Ocracoke, and then ran into trouble, ran aground on South Point of Ocracoke. Our friends down at the Ocracoke Observer, Connie Leinbach and Peter Vankevich, have been following this closely. They got an update up at ocracokeobserver.com this morning saying that efforts to free the Vivens Aqua did not work last night at high tide as there wasn't high enough to float the grounded yacht. They're going to try again. They tried again this morning. We'll see if we get an update on this, and we'll have that for you. We'll link it up on our social media from the latest from our friends at Ocracoke Observer, so you can check that out. They did pump about 800 gallons of fuel off of there. The owner of the boat has been staying on board. I said 700 gallons off the 55-foot Novatech. Scott Pumphrey, he stayed on board the whole time. Unheated cabin. He's using a little propane heater to stay warm. He says rocked and rolled a little bit, but no worse. Even during the storm on Friday night, wasn't any worse than what he experienced since they ran aground last Tuesday morning around 1 o'clock in the morning. So they're going to try again today to free the Vivens Aqua off of South Point in Ocracoke. Now, to the big boom. Did you feel it? Did you hear it? 12:54 yesterday. We were sitting here actually in the same spot we're at right now, working on things, and felt a rumble. Definitely a rumble. And it wasn't the cats running around upstairs. It was just a big boom. And everybody on the beach, a lot of people on the beach heard it. A lot of people on the beach felt it. What was it? Probably Seneca Guns. That's what we call them. Lasted about a second, 12:54 yesterday afternoon. But it'll probably remain a mystery. It's confounded residents and visitors for generations. If you've lived here, if you've ever visited, you probably know what we're talking about with what we call Seneca Guns. It's an unexplained phenomenon heard and felt for centuries along the shores of Lake Seneca and Lake Cayuga in New York, as well as here in northeastern North Carolina, all down the Carolina coast. Some Seneca Guns reports have been explained as sonic booms from military jets. The other theories, like the movement of tectonic plates, have been disproved. There is one. Temperature inversions occur in coastal areas when upwelling cold water decreases surface air temperatures and the cold air mass stays under warmer ones. So it's more North Carolina's coast jets out into the Atlantic, essentially creating a microphone effect, according to a story from Coastal Review back in 2014 that kind of explains it. The U.S. Geological Survey said there's no agreement on a cause for Seneca Guns, with most cases never explained. Now, it has been brought up that there was a 5-point-something earthquake out in Oklahoma at the exact same time that we heard the Seneca Guns. Maybe, but the thing is, from what we understand, some people said they felt it run from north to south. So that kind of throws that out. There's a huge military exercise going on up in Hampton Roads in southeastern Virginia right now. And there were some jets that were flying offshore out of Langley. Maybe sonic boom. It's just, we call it Seneca Guns. It's just part of living out here on the edge of the continental shelf. You never know what you'll hear, and you never know what you might see. So, it's one of the cool things about living out here on the coast. So, what was that boom? And we probably won't ever really know. But, again, there's possibility sometimes we do get some explanations about what those booms were. We've seen that with military exercises going on before out here at various locations. So there you go. That's the latest on what that big boom was. We really just don't know. We'll take a break, come back with some things that are happening and unfortunately not happening here on the Outer Banks, and look at sports and your OBX Today Weather Center forecast straight ahead here on OBX Today Live.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
This holiday season, the Manteo Police Department, Manteo Town staff, and the Pea Island Preservation Society collected items during their annual food and coat drive. There were 2 locations this year, one at the Pea Island Cookhouse Museum at Collins Park, and the second location was at Town Hall with police officers of the Manio Police Department. There were decorations, holiday music, and the smiling faces of everyone involved. It was an incredible turnout, with lots of coats and clothes and non-perishable food items donated by the generous citizens of Dare County.
This is our second annual Town of Manio Food Drive, and also this is our second annual Delva Collins Coat Drive. We had quite a few people come by today. We got a lot of nutritious drinks. We got canned foods. We got a bunch of coats already. We hope to do this every year from now on. And this is in a community where all African Americans live, and hopefully everybody will contribute.
This is a second annual food and coat drive that we've hosted. Very excited to be doing this for the community. It's something that I'm very passionate about. To be able to give back to my community is very fulfilling. I would like to just express an extreme appreciation for everything that they've dropped off here, and it really shows how much the community looks out for each other.
I would just like to thank the community for all their support and in this season of giving, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's.
With such incredible support from the community, Daryl Collins and Officer Deaton both plan on returning for another year in 2023.
And we're back on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you mash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell to know whenever we go live. We're going to wrap it up here real quick because we've got get ready for our interview with Bob Ballerin, who is the chief engineer with on the Ingenuity helicopter, which, of course, was the first powered flight of a controlled aircraft on Mars, and was carrying a piece of the Wright brothers flyer fabric. Bob's visiting the Outer Banks actually this week, and we're going to have a chance to talk with him coming up later on this morning, and then have that interview for you tomorrow here on OBX Today Live. We're going to post it up at obxtoday.com and etc. All our different platforms. The North Carolina Coastal Federation, unfortunately, has called off the Hatteras Island Oyster Roast that was originally scheduled for this Saturday. They've canceled it due to the high rate of COVID infections in Dare County, the impacts on their staff and volunteers. The North Carolina Coastal Federation, so the biggest fundraiser, they've had to miss out on it the last 2 years because of the pandemic. Ticket holders will be given a refund and can expect an email with details in the immediate future. They are still going to have a silent auction. It'll be held virtually, and you'll find a link at obxtoday.com on the Things to Do page. Sign-ups have begun for the Special Olympics Dare County's Polar Plunge. It's going to be held on Tuesday, February 22nd, taking place at Jeanette's Pier, as always, at 10 o'clock or 10:30 on Tuesday, February 22nd. Go to the Things to Do page, Neighbor to Neighbor Help Zone. Find a link there to sign up if you want to participate and help out, make a donation for the Special Olympics Dare County's Polar Plunge. And Midget Realty has been announced as the title sponsor for the Rodanthe Bridge 5-mile and 5K run and walk. Of course, the Jug Handle Bridge construction is expected to wrap up here in about a month or so. The tentative date has been set for this of March 12th. That's not been formally announced, but we do know March 12th is what's on the sign-ups. So if that's the case, and we're less than a month away, or around a month away from the Jug Handle Bridge being ready for people to be able to walk on it on that Saturday, March 12th, or sometime in early March, and then traffic's going to be running on it by early spring, it looks like, for sure. Already 260 people have signed up to run or walk. They do have a capacity for the event. Just 300 spots were going to be available. So it looks like it's going to run out here. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't filled up already here in the next couple of days. Post-race party is going to be held at the Rodanthe Way Salvo Community Building as well, with music, beer, hot sandwiches, coleslaw, chips, beans, and more. So if you can't make it for the run and walk, or you can't sign up in time, or you just want to go hang out at a cool event, that'll be going on. But again, the final announcement on the date is expected anytime now. But right now, tentatively, it's March the 12th. In sports, a busy night of high school basketball tonight, including the battle for first place for the boys in the Northeastern Coastal Conference between Hertford County and First Light at 7:30. That's going on in Kilbo Hills tonight. Mania travels up the Pascal Tank. Cape Hatteras hosting Columbia. Edenton is at Currituck. Camden at Northeastern. Madam Mesquite home to take on Beargrass. Perquimans at South Creek. Gates at Riverside. Southside at Northside. Northeast Academy at Albemarle. And Lawrence is at Terracea. High school wrestling, the state dual team tournament got underway yesterday. It's a quick. They do it yesterday, Wednesday, and the state championships on Saturday in Greensboro at the Coliseum. Currituck has moved to the third round. They beat Dixon and First Flight last night down in Havelock. They'll now head over to the Sandhills, to Union Pines in Cameron, North Carolina, for the third round and the regional finals on Wednesday. Manio beat North Pitt in the first round, but then lost to host Washington last night in the second round. College basketball, Duke beat Notre Dame 57-43. Tonight, Virginia hosts Boston College on a 6 o'clock tip. North Carolina's at Louisville for an 8 o'clock start. And the ACC has announced its 2022 football schedules. They came out yesterday for all the teams, at least the dates and the opponents, times, some of the times set. They'll wait because the way that works with TV on how they set up the start times for those. All right, OBX Today Weather Center forecast for today. It's going to be sunny, a little bit warmer, high of 45, and north winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Still going to feel kind of chilly out there. Partly cloudy tonight, low of only 40, down to 32 inland. North winds 10 to 15. On Wednesday, sunny, high 55. Thursday, sunny, a high 62. Then rain likely Friday and a high 65, but that's going to be rain late in the day. Big front coming through. Just going to be a rain event for us here in the Northeast. No snow out of this. And then rain ends Friday night. Sunny, breezy, and cool Saturday with a high of only 40. Back to 45 Sunday. Another chance of rain on Monday. And a high near 50. Coastal Marine forecast today. Small craft advisory with those winds kicking back out of the north at 15 to 20. Gusts to 25. 2 to 3 foot waves in the sound. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Our next tide change at Oregon Inlet's a low tide at 2:32. Sunset tonight at 5:29. Sunrise tomorrow at 7:01 a.m. Currently outside the studios in Uptown Nags Head, bright sunshine, a cloud in the sky this morning, and 42 degrees. And that's going to do it for OBX Today Live for this Tuesday, the 1st of February. Thanks for joining us. Presented by Gallup Funeral Services. Make sure you mash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell to know whenever we go live. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you tomorrow here on OBX Today Live. Have a good one.